Hello, I am glad to see all of you signing on hopefully today to be able to hear this great interview and hear our great news. I always love talking to my partner in crime, Kenn Hughes, who is our logistics guy that gets things done for GMP. And so we've got Kenn coming in today to share with you, along with me, some of our exciting plans coming up for the new year. So let me bring Kenn on right now.
Wow, did you see those graphics?
Oh, did you like that?
Dude,
Okay.
you're getting fancy with this.
I know.
Man,
Anyways,
you're a real pro.
good to see you, Ken.
Great to see you. It's not like we don't talk just about every day, but this is nice to talk about some upcoming projects.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we want to talk about. And I just want our people that are going to be tuning in to us today and listening that we are pumped and excited about that things are beginning to open and we are planning ahead. We are nowhere near as far down the line as we normally would be at pre-COVID days in our planning, but things are moving swiftly. And I thought maybe we could share some things about some of the upcoming projects.
Yeah, that'd be great. Also, I don't think we've talked yet since you've returned from Sweden, and
Wow.
I'd like to get just a little bit of a brain dump on how all that went.
Well, it went great, and the chocolate was awesome, and I had a good time with that. But I will
Did you
say,
buy a Volvo while you were there?
I say again,
Did you buy a Volvo while you were there?
no,
No.
no. As you well know from seeing my Facebook page, I bought an old Volkswagen
I
instead.
saw the Carmen Ghia. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Sweden was awesome. That was our first trip there. And the mission partners that we have there are a wonderful couple that are musicians as well. And, we had talked to them several years ago. We had discovered them and talked to them several years ago, and at the time their ministry was working in much smaller venues, and they just weren't ready for any of the music teams like we have. But then they contacted you just about a year or so ago and said, "Hey, we want to see Metro Big Band come over here." And let me just say, I want to make it concise, but they are musicians, writers, and they wrote a package of songs called "Stories of Hope." And it's all New Testament stories that we were presenting at the Stockholm International Jazz Festival. And we're allowed to actually literally present the gospel in every single concert that we did. And it was amazing. And we made some great connections with people, as we always do. As soon as the program is over, we get out into the audience and talk to people and meet them and say hello. And had some great connections there. And it's a beautiful area, a beautiful part of the world. And I am excited about going back there sometime in the near future. And since you brought it up, we are actually on go to leave here in 2 days on Friday to take Metro Big Band to Guatemala. And that's been one of our favorite locations for the last dozen years or so. And we can't wait to get over there and to do some of the things that we're going to do there as well. And Ken, let's talk about some upcoming projects and things that I'm just so excited. I can't tell you how excited I am to actually be looking at possible projects and everything for 2022. And actually, we do have one at the end of the year also.
Yeah, and what's kind of nice about the upcoming projects, it's some locations we've been before, going back and kind of connecting again with some relationships we've made. But we also have some new locations that are pretty cool. I may have to go on some of those myself and tag along with you. But as you mentioned, Guatemala in just a couple of days. That is the Metro Big Band. Kind of cool things about just some highlights for that trip. Again, some orphanage work that while we're there, working with musicians and sectionals and master classes and things like that. Worship services. There's going to be a TV recording while we're there. So, I mean, the itinerary for this Metro Big Band leaving in a couple of days is really nice. And as you mentioned, we're heading back to Guatemala again at the end of the year. We've done this many times. This one's a little unique in the fact that it's a celebration orchestra versus the Metro Big Band, which is usually taking that late December, early January timeframe. Do you want to mention anything about that particular project? How it's a little different than the Metro Big Band?
Well, one thing that I will say is that because it's an orchestra, we'll be doing some of the same kind of things we'll be doing this coming week with the Metro Big Band, except that we'll have more instrumentation to do more teaching. We'll have all the flutes and clarinets and strings that we'll be able to actually do more specific masterclass teaching with that. And there's a brand new opportunity for us in Guatemala. It's a school of music that was started by an opera singer there, and they've already got a jazz band and an orchestra and choirs, and we're looking forward to being able to get with them and perform with them and do some teaching and instruction with them as well. And we'll be able to do that even more depth with the orchestra at the end of the year. Those dates, by the way, are December 27 to January 3, so it goes right over New Year's. And I'll have to say we've had a great time there on New Year's on previous trips. Apparently, there are no fireworks laws in Guatemala. And, on New Year's Eve, 360 degrees as far as you can see in everybody's backyard. There are rockets going off and everything else. It's really a great celebration, and we have a good time there. And uniquely, by the way, both of these trips, including the one that we're leaving on Friday, the request for Christmas music was made to me to make sure that we have Christmas music. And Christmas doesn't end. It starts early in November, and they actually celebrate right on into the middle of January. And so we've got some great Christmas charts that are a little bit different for us to be able to do. We don't get to do very often. Well, let's talk about 2022 here.
Well, before you leave that one, just real quick, we've got room for lots of folks to go on that one. Since it is an orchestra, we can have, I think, just about every section. There's still room for folks to go on that Guatemala trip. So we'd invite you to be a part of that.
Absolutely. And thanks for saying that. We invite all of you instrumentalists, jump on board. That's such a great time of the year. I know some people have family commitments during that time, right after Christmas, post-Christmas and stuff, but we have a great time there, and it's usually a little window of time when there's not a lot of else going on other than kind of regrouping and getting ready to start the new year. So please consider jumping on board whatever orchestra instrument you play, and we'd love to have you. Of course, we're always looking for string players, so you string players are listening, come on. But we need we can have and utilize as many musicians in that orchestra as choose to be a part. So please do.
Well, let me go through some of these upcoming ones, and I'll just kind of do them chronologically, the closest to the farthest one out. As many of you would know, we had a trip planned to Germany in October, and that one was postponed. It was moved to this upcoming May. So there's project number 336, Germany. This is Richie Kingsmore. Camp will be on that. It's going to be a great project. So a Germany celebration orchestra to Germany, May 20 through 30. And we've got some wonderful hosts there. They're very connected. It's going to be a great, great trip.
And that project's already on the website. You can register for that.
These first ones I'm going to mention are definitely, they're up and running, ready to go for people to register.
Okay.
Yeah. And right on the heels of that, the Metro Big Band is headed back to Serbia and Croatia, Hungary. And so it's got 3 countries involved, and that's going to be June 2 through 11. That's project number 337. And we've done this once before, and it was great success. They're all the folks are kind of arm wrestling over who gets the Metro Big Band in all these locations again, because we had so many pastors, Christian workers. They're working with Metro Big Band. So they're putting that schedule together, and it's going to be awesome. And this too is one that's on the project, ready for people to register.
Let me say too that one of the reasons for the date selection on that is that we will be in Serbia during their jazz festival. And so that was one of the reasons that the dates were selected. We'll be playing in the Serbia Jazz Festival as well.
Yeah, and musicians connecting with musicians is always a highlight. And, you know, we do that with orchestras and church players. Even in this one that you're coming up here in a couple of days, we're doing sectionals with an orchestra, orchestra members and things like that. So connecting with the musicians, you look across the table there with somebody and they do what you do, there's an instant connection. And so those kinds of projects are very unique, and we're grateful for those opportunities. So those are the ones that are on the website ready to be registered. Here's some that are going to probably be on the site probably within the month. We've gotten all of the big numbers as far as the budget is concerned. And so there's just some little incidental things that we have to work out. Sometimes those incidentals are we're taking a look at what instrumentation that we can borrow while we're there, or if we have to rent. instruments or musical equipment, sound systems and things. Sometimes churches are in a position where they can let us borrow something. Sometimes we have to rent those. So some of those little details, they're already being discussed. Now we're just getting to the finalization of that. But a brand new project. It's very interesting. It's I'm not going to pronounce it correctly. Maybe you heard the pronunciation a little better, but I think it's Toledo, Brazil. And Toledo, if you're kind of wondering where that's at, if you've been to Brazil, we have so many folks that have gone to Brazil with us. But Toledo is about 300 miles, or no, almost 600 miles, almost straight west of Curitiba. And it's just a couple of hours north of it on a drive from Foz do Iguaçu. If you're not familiar with Foz do Iguaçu, that's where those famous waterfalls are. There's a James Bond movie years ago that had these waterfalls in the movie, but they're kind of a wonder of the world almost kind of a thing. So it's going to be in that same area.
I think there's a plan for us to see that while we're there too.
There is, and that is the Metro Big Band going to Toledo.
So that's Metro Big Band going to Brazil. Now that's going to be in June, right after the Hungary project, isn't it?
It's June 24, and what's kind of cool about that, it goes over the July 4th holiday. So for a lot of our folks, they can use a holiday, and they don't have to use a vacation day or take off of work. So sometimes that can be to people's benefit whenever we cross over into a holiday where they can use that and it's not counted against their vacation day. So that's June 24 through July 4th. And again, that'll be on the website just probably the next couple of weeks, not more than a month probably. And kind of interesting, right after that is another Brazil project, but it's this one is for the Celebration Orchestra, and it's July 21 through 30, and we're going to Niterói, which is actually a kind of a suburb of Rio de Janeiro area. And so everybody loves Rio. My wife and I went to Brazil a couple of years ago now, and she was amazed about how the food, the food and the people, it's one of those places you got to go to. So that's coming up, Celebration Orchestra. So lots of folks can be a part of that.
And that's going to, I think we already have some dates lined out for that, don't we?
July 21 through 30.
July 21 through 30, Celebration Orchestra to Rio de Janeiro with Niterói. And they are right next door to each other with a bridge connecting them.
Right.
It's a beautiful part of the country. And I got to say, I've had some really great food around the world, but Brazil's got to be way high on my list, if not at the top of my list. Many people know that I'm a foodie, and and I got to say that I'm really looking forward to getting back to Brazil again.
And it's not just the Brazilian food. I mean, if you go to an Italian restaurant in Brazil, it could be very well the best Italian food you've ever eaten. And down the line, it's everything they do there is just incredible.
I agree.
We're invited to return to Edinburgh, Scotland, with the Metro Big Band for the International Festival there that takes place. It's the world's largest festival, and Colin Peckham, our host, he's invited us back to be a part of that. A lot of folks have gone to that. That's going to be August 18 through 27. And again, this one is being finalized. This one should be on the website really, really soon as well.
And it's an arts festival, right?
It's an arts festival. It's drama, it's opera, it's acting, it's stand-up comedians. It's if it has anything to do with arts, even paintings, and I mean, if it has any kind of art in it, it's a part of this festival, which makes it the world's largest festival. So it's a great time to be there for so many reasons. But that festival is I mean, there's nothing like it.
We've been there once before, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people walking up and down the streets. And we're going to be playing in actually a Christian center, a church that's right on the Royal Mile, which is where all of those activities are going to be focused. And we'll be in that one location every night. We've done it once before, and the impact was really incredible. I can't wait to do this again.
Yeah, and Scotland, Americans love Scotland. It's just something about it, connection there. So people really love going to Scotland. Another one that's getting ready to be put on the site very, very soon is going back to Israel. But this one is not the Celebration Orchestra. It's not the Metro Big Band. This one is our Power Praise Band. And so you might want to talk a little bit about the instrumentation. But before you do, the dates for that are September 1 through 10. So you can tell that these are all really very active because the dates are set. Just some little things working on to get those up and running on the website. But the Power Praise Band going to Israel September 1 through 10.
Let me say, Ken mentioned the instrumentation. It's going to be unique because we actually tried to do this past September, and we were shut down. Just the COVID restrictions and things just weren't going to make it easy for us to do. So we've reorganized it for next year. Our hosts over there are really excited about us coming back. And what we originally kind of planned for was a small kind of a horn-driven praise band, but we have opened this up, and it's going to be a really rhythm-driven group. But it's going to be built around a horn section, but it's going to include all other woodwinds and brass as well. And so if you play flute or clarinet, or you play French horn, you'll be able to jump onto this team. But the group is going to be focused on that kind of rhythm section driven sound. It's somewhere between Metro Big Band and Celebration Orchestra, something in the middle. And we're not going to use any strings with it, but it's going to be for wind players. And so we encourage you. We had a really nice group signed up to go this past September, and we're going to be letting them know. We're letting them know right now, if you're listening, that it's going to happen next year, and we hope that you'll sign up again.
Great. Some of the ones that we're working on kind of in the early stages, Camp, I haven't even mentioned this to you, I don't think, because you were in Sweden when this came down. Ron Sutton is down at Alliance Academy International in Quito, Ecuador. He got hold of me while in the last couple of weeks and said, hey, we want to have a team back. And so it's a team that does a music camp through the day. And depending on the instrumentation, what we want to put together, then we go out and do concerts in the evening. Camp's been a part of that. We had a great orchestra that year, as a matter of fact. A really terrific group. So that's going to be in July of 2022. So we'll start putting all that together. But that's, again, Quito, Ecuador, working with Alliance Academy International. That school was started for missionaries' kids. And so it has that Christian backing there. We've been discussing going to Hungary with Alex Zolt with the Celebration Orchestra. That's in the works as well. And you can jump in and talk about any of these that you want to. One that's really kind of cool, we're excited about our new connection here, is Celebration Orchestra going to the Philippines in April of 2023. And there's a lot of traction already on that one. I mean, that one could actually go on the site relatively soon, just because we have a great partner there. He's been there almost 30 years now, I think.
No, they've been there since 1977. They've been there 43 years.
43 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk about connected, and I mean, he's part of the culture now with that length of time there. So we're excited about going ahead into the Philippines with the Celebration Orchestra.
And a little real quick thing on that. I've had several good Skype calls with Mr. Martin over there and his wife, Becky, and they are great people, and they got an inspiration to start an orchestra in 2013 in the Philippines. They now have an 85-piece symphony orchestra playing in their church every Sunday, and we would have an opportunity to be with them, play with them, teach them master classes, and be able to play all over the area of the city area where they are. I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, and a couple more that are some highlights. New Life Symphony Orchestra, Johnny Fuller's group. We're always working things on them. There's conversations going on with them, perhaps going to Italy. There's some good traction that's taking place there. They've also looked at going to Hungary on an upcoming trip. We have a new partner in Australia, so we're excited about when things open up a little bit more down there. We can head down to Australia. And Camp just shared with me this week where some religious visas are looking like it's going to happen for Cuba as well. So we're hopeful that Cuba will be back on our radar pretty soon.
Yeah, I got a note from Elio Mora, one of our hosts down there, who said that they're going to be allowed to apply for religious visas for our teams to come starting in mid-November this month. And so we're hoping to see some of that come to fruition in the near future. Well, we've covered a lot of turf today.
Can I just say two more things before we wrap up? Because I know we're running out of time.
No, we're good. Go ahead.
First of all, I want just to kind of connect. If there's some music ministers watching this, or some orchestra people, big band people at your church, if you want to see your group go, have them get in touch with us. We still have lots of requests out there that we would love to fulfill all those requests. And as you just heard, all these projects with Metro Big Band, Celebration Orchestra, the Power Praise Band, a lot of individual musicians coming from all over, but we would love to take choirs from existing churches, praise teams, all kinds of things there. So if you're connected in a way at your church and want to see your church ministry go, get in touch with us to do that. And also, churches are connected with missionaries all around the world. It's been incredible to watch God connect the dots. Just having a conversation, how it leads to a connection. It's not like for Global Missions Project, we have automatic connections into whatever. It's really God just connecting us with people. And right now, using this platform, I would like to connect with you. If you have missionaries in your church that would love to use a music team, get them in touch with us, and we'll start turning over the rocks, see what God has in store, and that might work out to be your church. If they have those missionary connections, it might be your church that goes and works with those missionaries, and we'd love to help you do that.
And let me follow up on that and say that any of you who would like to contact either Kenn or me, feel free, use email, because it's easier for us to get to you quicker. And Kenn's email address is Kenn, but it's 2 N's, KENN, at globalmissionsproject.com. And you can get to me at camp, CAMP, at globalmissionsproject.com. And we'd be glad to answer any questions that you have about initiating a project or just being a part of a project yourself and you're just not sure how it all works. I've gotten emails over the last, really just the last couple of weeks, of people who said, "Hey, I just found out about you guys. Tell me how it works." And so we are available to you to fill you in and give you whatever information you need. And we want you to come and serve with us. We're excited about that. Well, like I said, we thank you for being with us today. And Kenn, thank you for being with us today.
Enjoyed it.
We covered a lot of turf today as far as upcoming things. And I can tell you that Kenn and I both are truly excited. I can't use that word enough, that we're beginning to see things open up where we can begin to function again and travel again and go and share the good news of Jesus Christ with people around the world. So God bless you today. And Kenn, any last words?
Just thankful to be a part of this. And I'm excited, like you said, to see our people being able to go. The reports that we get back, even on Sweden and things like this, man, it is good to be back out there doing what God's called us to do.
And that's absolutely the truth. So I say farewell to all of you, and we'll see you again on another interview at the first of next month.